the distraction of 8 rockets that were positioned for potential launch into Israel from within the Gaza Strip. What I want everybody to really try and understand is that, to me, this is the proof positive of what I have been saying with regard to the long-term resolution and outcome that I believe will bring long-term quiet to the people of Israel with regard to the Gaza Strip. For the longest time, I have been saying that given that on October the 7th, the preponderance of Gazans celebrated the kidnapping of our men, our women, our children, our elderly, and our infirm, as they were paraded throughout the streets of Gaza in footage that was released by Hamas, when you consider that the preponderance of Gazans celebrated when they saw IDF soldiers who had been killed being dragged through the streets of Gaza, when you consider that the masses of Gaza celebrated when our hostages were paraded in the most emaciated form that I believe a human being can possibly take, when you consider that they chant and support Hamas, you have to understand that as long as that population remains on the border with the state of Israel, the state of Israel will not know long-term peace, and it will not even know long-term quiet. And this loops back to the discovery and distraction of these 8 rockets that were being prepared, because the terror army that once was Hamas is replenishing its ranks, and it is doing so because there is ready willingness from among the men of age inside the Gaza Strip. As long as you have a dynamic where the people are fueled by hatred towards their neighbor Israel, where they are powered by a jihadism that leaders in the West clearly fail to understand, but we in Israel now understand better than ever as a result of the horrors of October the 7th, as long as that group of people remains right on the borders with Israel, the state of Israel will not know quiet. And so I do not know what the long-term outcome will be inside the Gaza Strip, but I would implore Prime Minister of Israel and others to consider again facilitating the relocation of the Gazan population at the point of them requesting relocation. This is not something that should be overlooked. And if we allow the replenishment of Hamas's terror army against us, October 7th will be rendered not a war of great victory as it ought to be seen, but rather a precursor to a return of the flawed and dangerous policy that existed prior to October 7th, namely mowing the lawn. Policy that I always railed against, I always viewed as actually a non-policy, and I deeply hope we will not return to. I think eventually there needs to be a long-term resolution brought about, separates the Gazan people from the borders with Israel.